Are you going back for the election?
What election?
You don't know that we are eligible to vote now?
Huh? Really? I didn't know about that.
How come you don't know?
Sorry lah. I'm little bit, late about this thing. But how do you know about this thing?
It's okay. Let me teach you.
It is very easy. Nowadays, you can search everything on social media. Personally, I like looking up information on TikTok. Just type anything that you want to look up and you can find a lot of information about the election.
Wow, there's a lot of information.
Yeah, so now you know.
Wow, it's very interesting, but I do not know who to vote.
Oh, this you have to do a research first. So, how to do it is, the easiest thing to do is just scroll on your social media. Because nowadays, most of the candidates posted their manifesto on their social media.
Oh, I see. But can I really trust them?
Yes, and this is where you have to use your judgment based on your research. After you look at the manifesto, you can go and search, because nowadays there is a lot of politics analysts has been doing content about the politics that is going on in Malaysia. Also, there is a lot of content creators nowadays been sharing about what is happening around politics in Malaysia.
Oh, I see.
So, after you do your research, you have to use your judgment based on what you think is the best to vote.
Wow, that's very interesting information that I just got right now. Thank you so much, Ira.
No problem. You're welcome, Anis.
Hi, Assalamualaikum and good morning to our dear listeners. As usual, it's me, Erin.
And it's me, Del.
And it's me, Zaris. So, we are your beloved podcast hosts. So, to our new listeners, welcome to the Lima podcast, where we'll be discussing about any sensational and current issues that have been happening in our country. Yes, but don't worry, everything that will be delivered for sure will give some knowledge for you. So now we're going to move into our topic for today. So as usual, we will be discussing about the current issue, but today's topic seems to be a little bit heavier than the usual.
Yes, and I do believe that our dear listeners will be a little bit shocked with the topic that we choose for today.
Yes. So can the listeners take a guess? What is it? Something that probably related to what's the hot topic now? General election.
Election.
In today's podcast episode, we will be discussing about media and politics.
Wow, media and politics, guys. Media and politics.
Okay, actually, this is something that I can relate with. As a first-time voter during the latest GE, I noticed how media, specifically social media, that I consume has guided me a lot in shaping the ideology of politics.
Yes, but like for first-time voters, we don't really familiar about how to vote and everything. But nowadays, there's a lot of platform like to help us familiar with how to vote and who to vote.
Yes, and actually this makes me wonder how powerful and impactful the media can be.
Yes, exactly. So we don't want our listeners to be very worried because we won't go like very deep, just in the surface, but in the general knowledge lah about this thing.
Okay, since we're going to talk about media and politics, it's a very heavy topic, right?
Yes.
So I don't want to waste any more time. I would like to invite our guest who will be explaining about this topic, because of course this is a very heavy topic and this is not our specialty, so we need an expert. Yes.
Exactly. Hence, that's why we invited our expert for today. So, a bit introduction, check, is one of the lectures for the subject Asian Politics in UiTM Shalam. Okay, Zari, I know you are very excited about this topic. So, why don't you introduce our guest?
Yes, so I'm going to introduce my beloved lecturer. Seshanan! Yes, our one and only Seshanan. Hi, sir.
Hi, welcome to our show, sir.
Thank you for inviting me to your great podcast.
Without wasting any time, we will straightly jump into the first question of the day.
Yep.
Okay, which is, what is your opinion regarding the importance of media during the election?
All right, thank you very much. It's a very important question. I mean, if you to talk about the role of media in politics or the relationship between media and politics, it is not something new. For years, not years, for decades, mass media has played an instrumental role, critical role in facilitating the political communication process. They've played their role or their duty to inform the population, to inform the people, the citizen, the voters about the contesting parties, about the politicians, about the policies that each of the parties are offering to the people. So I think, generally speaking, this is the basic role and function of the mass media, whether it's newspaper or TV or radio or even podcasts. I mean, podcast is part of the mass media, including modern technologies like social media, internet media as well. So I think, generally speaking, this is the importance, their basic role and function. Well, I guess, yeah, it's about educating the people to give them awareness, right? So yeah, that's my first response to
Like
your
media
first
usually
question.
changing by platform, right? By the decades, the media is
Exactly.
changing, but the role is
Right.
still stay the same.
Exactly.
It's actually
The
to educate.
purpose is still the same. 100 years ago, there was no internet, there was no TV, was not yet popular. So what was used 100 years ago? Well, rallies, pamphlets, all right, radio communication. And when TV was introduced, when TV became popular, so TV was also used. So, for example, in America, the first presidential debate was broadcasted live in '62. All right, so that was the turning point. All right, so after '62, presidential debate on television became normal and normalized. All right. So today, I mean, 10 or 15 years ago, the use of social media, for example, in politics was considered, oh, I mean, it's like, oh, who use social media would have an advantage. Today, I think that question is somewhat irrelevant because everyone is using it.
Yes,
Right, so it's not a choice, it's more like a must. Well, if you are interested, if you have political ambitions, right? So you need these platforms, these tools. So yeah.
So we're gonna jump to a second question. So what do you think? How much political parties rely on the media industry to maintain their image and reputation, and how media can manipulate voters' view on a certain political parties? So what's your opinion?
Right. Yeah, I haven't got the time to actually check the full figures, but it's, I mean, if you were to total up the spending by all the Malaysian political parties combined, I think it can goes up to more than 1 billion ringgit at least. All right. I mean, if you take one political party, I think the easy figure is 100 of million for one coalition, like BN or PN or PH. Hundreds of millions of ringgit for political campaign alone. I mean, you are not talking about campaigning for one seat. We're talking about running a political campaign from Perlis to Johor to Kelantan, Sabah, and Sarawak.
They will go
Alright.
to one state to one state.
So, I mean, you can do your own calculation. If it's just about printing materials, paper printing alone, how much would it cost? Full color paper. And you times that to thousands. So, thousands for one, maybe just one constituency alone. But if you look at Selangor, for example, there are 56 state seats, 22 parliamentary seats. You times all that. So times with 222 parliamentary seats. I mean, that is on printing alone. Paper.
That's a lot of money.
That's a lot of paper.
A lot of money
also.
I haven't touched on, well, banners,
Yeah,
bantings, yeah, paying maybe TikTok influencers,
Yes.
newspaper advertisements, all Alright, TV advertisements. TV not much lah, but newspaper yes. Alright, newspaper advertisement. Yeah.
Actually, I did read somewhere, I think on Twitter or TikTok itself, but there is an influencer who actually exposed that there are some political parties who will be paying like 500k if they promote the parties. So that's
Yeah.
how much money they spend on shaping their image, right?
I guess that depends on the number of followers that particular influencer or TikTok user has.
Since nowadays everyone's using social media. So
Right.
like from your point of view, like how these politicians use social media to attract voter and maybe win the elections as well.
All right. Okay. So that's a good question. I think the use, like I said earlier, the use of social media has been widely recognized. Everybody is using social media. Well, I mean, if you look at platforms like TikTok, it's arguably the most popular platforms right now. So basically, it's impossible to go into politics, to run a campaign without a proper TikTok campaign.
Yes.
All right. So, but at the same time, if you look at platforms like Facebook, it is still very much popular. If you look in terms of the size of user, so Facebook is still popular. That explains why, if you look at the last election, all of the parties, they spend quite a number of money on Facebook as well. So basically, in other words, you just have to you have to take care of all the platforms. You can't ignore, right? Including Twitter as well.
Yes.
All right. And of course, I missed out YouTube. YouTube is also another popular platform. I'm sure you've seen quite a number of political ads on YouTube as well. Regardless of whether it's from an individual, political personality, or political party. All right. So yeah, I guess these are some of the tools that was used heavily by politicians and political parties. And talking about issues, issues is also another. I mean, it's not just about platform. Okay, another thing, something that I used to conduct social media courses before. So I think one of the key question is, it's not just about what platforms that you intend to use, but more importantly, it's about how. What are you doing? All right. What are your strategies? All right. So that is from the strategy point of view. What's your communication plan? How do you intend to run your campaign, for example? Right? Okay. So yeah, hopefully that answers the question. Yeah.
Since said that actually Facebook plays a huge important role.
Yep.
Actually,
Based
in
on
this.
spending.
And actually it's not just Facebook, YouTube. You guys use CapCut, right?
Yeah.
So do you know CapCut?
I have heard of CapCut.
You know,
Editing
actually
apps.
they did put the ads in CapCut.
Yes.
Because actually I was
Oh,
looking
really?
for template.
Okay.
You know, we like to edit our videos, right? And then suddenly I saw the one that one political party lah. They put ads at CapCut. And then I was like, huh?
I think it's Google Ads. So
I'm not sure,
Google
but
Ads. So if you put your ad on Google, so the ad will appear anywhere. So it's not that they are putting the ads on any specific platform. They advertise with Google. So wherever there is Google Ads, so you can find any all sort of ads lah.
Love it.
like even in Facebook, there's like group of community.
Yeah.
And they discuss about it. Like,
Yes. Are you in that community, sir?
of the
Are you like an active user of Facebook?
I am in some of the Facebook communities. For example, there's a community on coffee, like coffee club, some music group, my specific kind of music. So yeah, those are some of the communities that I joined in Facebook, and yeah, a couple of political communities as well.
We go to last question to conclude, sir. What is the impact of social media on politics and the public view? I mean, from your view as
Right.
someone who is voters,
Also,
someone who votes.
using social media.
Yes,
Yeah.
using social
And
media.
someone who actually, I think you dig deeper about politics.
Yes.
Right?
Yeah.
Do sometimes you read and you say, oh, this is wrong and this is right. You know which
Yeah,
platform are right or wrong. But you,
From the surface level, I think, like I mentioned in the first point earlier, their role is very significant and important in the sense that they can educate the voters. They provide information, latest updates about. I mean, if you're talking about election, the role of the media, for example, is to inform the public who's the candidate in the specific area, what are the latest issues, what are the latest problems. To give awareness, education, information. But other than that, but I think sometimes among one of the most, or not one, or among the major critical issues that always occur during election is the issue of misinformation or disinformation, fake news, the dissemination of fake news. I mean, these was used deliberately by political party supporters. I mean, you see these kind of activities being used by both sides. I mean, it's hard to deny, or it's impossible to say that, only one party is doing it. I mean, everyone does it. All right, the use of propaganda to mislead viewers, to attack and counter attack. So normally you would see all kinds of negative content, negative advertisements, one attacking the other side attacking the other group. So yeah, I mean, but then again, just to take a step back, what is happening, it's, I mean, this sort of thing is not unique in Malaysia. It's a pretty common thing in major democracies as well, from America to Europe. So Malaysia is not an exception. So I guess still on the topic of effects, I think one of the perhaps ironies or paradox is that at a time when more and more people are connected to the internet, at a time when more and more people are engaged with social media, the reality is that the effect is that we are becoming more and more divided as a society.
yes.
All right, we are divided politically, culturally. So I think that this is bad. So, but then again, what's the solution? Should we ban or restrict the usage of social media? This is not something that I would advocate. But I think a certain limitation is needed. All right, but I think everyone is aware of that. Everyone agrees that. I think the differences between the points between the government and the opposition is where the limitation should be.
Yes.
So
To conclude, do you think
I know my question. Conclusion. That is my question, not the conclusion.
I love to talk to you, sir.
Because you love politics.
Yes.
I
No, I
appreciate
love
that.
current issue, and
Maybe we
politics
can
is a
do
part of a current issue. Yes.
yes.
Okay.
I appreciate your interest.
You conclude. Right?
I just
Yes.
I just read my line lah. So like after we had an hour discussion, like it's very interesting to know about like the other side of media, because usually we consume media to know like what's happening,
yeah.
entertainment,
Entertainment,
sports.
K-pop. Yes.
True. So it's a
We don't realize it
Yeah,
gives a lot of big impact on politics, right?
Yeah, towards things related to politics actually.
Yes.
Now we realize that actually these political things actually it's very close lah to our generation because you use social media, you know about politics stuff also.
Yeah.
Supposedly you know
Yeah.
lah. Supposedly you know lah. You should
It's whether you take part of it or just
Yeah.
ignore the thing. That's it. Because I believe that everyone has social media nowadays. Everyone has social media, especially young people. So, alright, we are nearing the end of our podcast session for today. Thank you so much, sir, for
Thank
joining
you very
us
much
and spending
for
time with
inviting me.
us. Yes, thank you so much.
And to our dear listeners for lending your ears.
Yes.
So it's a wrap for our podcast episode for today.
And that's all from
The Lima. Bye. Next time. Bye-bye.